Well, Donald Trump is agreeing to do something that no other U.S. president has ever done. He is seizing on a diplomatic breakthrough this morning. Trump is accepting an invitation to meet with the leader of North Korea. Now, Trump's summit with Kim Jong-un is being seen as a surprising, history-making, and even daring political gamble. Ellen Morrow leads off this morning from Washington. So, Ellen, Trump has his own administration, lawmakers, and Capitol Hill leaders around the world scrambling to catch up with his announcement this morning. What do we know about this surprise meeting?
Well, it's obviously a major development. As you said, there's never been a face-to-face meeting between sitting leaders of North Korea and the United States. Now, the North Koreans have asked for that before, but American administrations have been leery of validating any North Korean regime. But as we know, President Trump does things differently, and that's what he's doing in this case as well. And he tweeted about the meeting. We can show you what he posted, saying that Kim Jong-un talked about denuclearization with the South Korean representatives, not just a freeze, referring to weapons testing. Also, no missile testing by North Korea during this period of time. Great progress being made, but sanctions will remain until an agreement is reached. Meeting being planned. So the president obviously wholeheartedly, it would seem, accepting this invitation. We also had reaction from Vice President Mike Pence just a short time ago that we can show you. Mike Pence writing, North Korea's desire to meet to discuss denuclearization while suspending all ballistic missile and nuclear testing is evidence that President Trump's strategy to isolate the Kim regime is working. The North Koreans are coming to the table despite the United States making zero concessions. So obviously the administration sees this invitation from Kim Jong-un as a major success, Natasha, because since it's taken office, the American administration has said no more strategic patience. We're going to find a way to get some movement on this. So they feel that the sanctions that have been imposed have been successful. Now, the meeting from the American point of view, the goal is denuclearization. We do know, as President Trump said, that Kim Jong-un has agreed to suspend testing for the time being. So it's a remarkable development in and of itself. It's even more remarkable when you think about the past year. We've seen such heated rhetoric between both sides, increasing number of weapons tests by the North Koreans, the threat of fire and fury, the name-calling Little Rocket Man, and now we have this meeting coming up sometime either in May or before May, but we're not sure quite where it will be yet.
Ellen, well, you sort of hinted at it, these insults, these barbs that have been going back and forth between the two leaders. And so it really came as a surprise when Trump made the announcement that he was going to meet with Kim. How did we get to this point?
Well, yesterday, last evening was very unexpected. The president himself sort of ducked his head. I think we can show you those pictures, ducked his head into the White House briefing room where he doesn't usually show up to tease reporters with this big announcement on North Korea. So we knew something was coming, but not until just a few hours before the announcement itself was made. Now, what prompted this was Trump met yesterday at the White House with South Korea's national security advisor. The president knew he was in the West Wing. They spoke. And during this meeting, the national security advisor told the president about Kim Jong-un's desire to meet with him. And according to a story in the New York Times, the president immediately said he would do it. And this report says that surprised some of Donald Trump's own advisor. Here's what Secretary of State Rex Tillerson had to say about the meeting.
In terms of the decision to engage between President Trump and Kim Jong-un, that's a decision the president took himself. I spoke to him very early this morning about that decision, and we had a good conversation. This is something that he's had on his mind for quite some time, so it was not a surprise.
And so now, again, this meeting coming up sometime before May or in May, being planned now, as the president said. And it will be a historic meeting no matter how it goes. It could be one that perhaps gets some kind of progress, some kind of solution to this situation, at least in a small way. But it's also a meeting that's filled with lots of pitfalls and risks as these two unpredictable, sometimes volatile leaders sit down face to face.